A quiet studio moment unexpectedly turned into one of the most talked about interactions fans had seen in a long time. It started with nothing dramatic. No loud music. No scripted confession. Just a casual recording session where everyone appeared relaxed. Yet within seconds, a single glance changed everything and set the internet on fire. The room was filled with soft chatter as the cast prepared between takes. Shen Yue laughed at something a host said, her voice light and easy. Wang sat slightly to the side, leaning back in his chair, listening without appearing overly involved. Cameras were rolling casually, capturing behind-the-scenes footage, but no one expected anything significant to happen. Then it happened. A male co-star leaned closer to Shen Yue, whispering something that made her laugh even more. It was harmless, friendly, the kind of interaction that happens constantly during filming. But at that exact moment, Dylan's expression shifted. His eyes moved quickly in their direction, his posture straightening slightly. The glance lasted only a second, yet it carried a surprising intensity. Fans later replayed the clip frame by frame. His eyes narrowed just a little. His lips pressed together before he looked away. It was subtle, but impossible to ignore. The energy in that brief look felt different from the relaxed atmosphere before. The scene continued, but the tension had already been noticed. Shen Yue, still smiling, turned to include Dylan in the conversation. She called his name lightly, as if inviting him into the moment. Dylan responded with a calm nod, but his expression softened only slightly. He leaned forward, joining the conversation, though the earlier glance remained the highlight. Observers pointed out how the mood seemed to shift after that. Dylan began engaging more actively. He asked Shen Yue a question directly, and she responded warmly. Their exchange flowed naturally, but there was a new layer beneath it, something unspoken yet visible. Later in the session, another moment added fuel to the speculation. The group was asked to play a simple game. When Shen Yue partnered with the same co-star again, Dylan paused before reacting. He laughed, but fans noticed he tapped his fingers lightly on the table, a small sign of restlessness. Shen Yue glanced at him briefly, smiling in a way that seemed reassuring. The internet quickly exploded with reactions. Some viewers described the glance as protective. Others called it playful jealousy. Many simply said it revealed genuine emotion. The debate itself only amplified the moment's impact. What made it powerful was its authenticity. It did not feel staged or exaggerated. It felt spontaneous. Another unforgettable scene came shortly after. During a break, Shen Yue reached for a bottle of water placed near Dylan. Their hands brushed for a split second. Dylan looked at her again, this time softer, almost amused. She laughed quietly, and he looked down, shaking his head as if embarrassed by his own reaction. Fans interpreted this as a continuation of the earlier glance. The shift from intensity to warmth made the interaction feel even more layered. It suggested familiarity, comfort, and perhaps an emotional undertone. As filming resumed, they were asked to stand together for a promotional photo. Shen Yue stepped closer, naturally aligning beside Dylan. He adjusted slightly to make space, but their shoulders almost touched. The photographer asked them to look at the camera, yet Dylan briefly looked sideways again, this time smiling faintly. That brief sideways look became another viral clip. Comments flooded social media. People analyzed body language, eye contact, and timing. Some believed the glance showed genuine feelings. Others thought it was simply natural chemistry. Regardless of interpretation, everyone agreed the moment felt electric. Later, during a casual interview segment, Shen Yue joked about Dylan being quiet that day. He responded with a playful remark, saying he was just observing everything. The line sounded simple, yet fans connected it to the earlier glance. The idea that he had been quietly watching added another layer of intrigue. Toward the end of the recording, the cast gathered for a group farewell. Shen Yue waved enthusiastically. Dylan stood beside her, smiling more openly now. When she nearly stepped forward too quickly, he gently reached out as if to steady her. The gesture was small, almost instinctive, but it reinforced the narrative fans had already built. The entire sequence felt like a story told through glances rather than words. What made the moment unforgettable was its subtlety. There were no dramatic declarations. No overt reactions. Just a single glance that revealed a flicker of emotion. That flicker was enough to ignite conversations that lasted for weeks. Even now, fans revisit the clip, still fascinated by that brief look. It showed how sometimes the smallest gesture can create the biggest impact. A glance, a pause, a shift in expression. Together, they formed a scene that felt spontaneous and deeply human. The internet may move quickly, but moments like this linger. Not because they confirm anything, but because they capture something rare. A quiet emotion revealed without intention. A natural reaction caught on camera. And it all began with one jealous glance that no one expected, yet no one could forget. The discussion did not fade after that recording. In fact, the days that followed only intensified the fascination. Clips of Dylan Wang and Shen Yue began circulating again, this time with fans connecting older interactions to that single glance. What once seemed like ordinary exchanges suddenly looked more meaningful.
Eyes.
One resurfaced clip showed them during a rehearsal break. Shen Yue was speaking animatedly with the group when Dylan quietly moved his chair closer. He did not interrupt, but he listened attentively, occasionally nodding. When she laughed, he smiled too, even though he had not heard the full story. Fans pointed out how naturally he aligned himself beside her, as though drawn in without thinking. Another moment that gained attention happened during a group discussion game. Shen Yue struggled briefly to answer a question, and Dylan leaned in slightly, whispering something that made her laugh. She repeated his suggestion aloud, earning applause. He quickly leaned back, almost pretending he had not helped. The subtle teamwork fueled more speculation about their connection. The narrative deepened when viewers noticed how often Dylan's attention returned to Shen Yue, even when others were speaking. It was never obvious, never exaggerated. Just quick glances, soft smiles, and small reactions. Shen Yue, in turn, often responded by including him in conversations, turning her body slightly toward him or asking his opinion directly. These micro-interactions created a rhythm that fans found impossible to ignore. One particularly memorable continuation happened near the end of another segment. The cast was joking around, and a host teased Shen Yue about choosing a partner for a challenge. She hesitated playfully, scanning the room. Dylan looked down at the table, tapping his fingers lightly. The pause lasted only seconds, but the tension felt noticeable. When she finally called his name, the room erupted in cheers. Dylan laughed, visibly relaxing, and stood up quickly. That small sequence felt like a continuation of the earlier jealous glance. It suggested that the emotional undercurrent had not disappeared. Instead, it had evolved into something softer and more playful. Fans described it as a silent conversation happening beneath the surface. Later, during a candid off-camera moment, Shen Yue accidentally dropped a cue card. Dylan bent down at the same time to pick it up. Their hands met briefly, and they both laughed. He stepped back first, gesturing for her to take it. She smiled in appreciation, and the exchange lasted only a few seconds. Yet it added another layer to the growing story. The internet continued to analyze every second. Some fans believed the jealous glance marked the beginning of a shift. Others felt it simply revealed feelings that had always been there. Regardless of interpretation, the chemistry between them seemed undeniable to viewers. As time passed, the original glance remained the anchor of the entire narrative. Every new interaction was measured against it. The quiet intensity of that moment made all subsequent gestures feel connected. It became more than just a look. It became a symbol of unspoken emotion. Even now, fans still revisit the sequence, combining clips and memories, trying to understand what truly happened. Was it jealousy, protectiveness, or simply natural chemistry? The mystery continues, and perhaps that is why the moment remains so powerful. Sometimes, the smallest glance can create a story that never really ends.